baseball tonight, along with Chris Singleton and Alex Cora. I'm John Shambi. Lots of stuff to get to. The Dodgers homer happy. Juan Uribe goes yard 1, 2, 3 times. We'll have that for you, but it gets a little testy in Baltimore.
Hey, in September, a couple of teams that are trying to get in the postseason. Love to see it.
Love this stuff. All right, Alex Rodriguez, top of the first, batting second in the lineup, and goes deep out there to right center field. This is a good hitter's park, make no mistake.
It's a pretty scary number 2 hitter, even though he's been through all the injuries. It's still Alex Rodriguez that steps in the box.
5th of the season for A-Rod. All right, 5th inning now. J.J. Hardy on second. Mike Morse grounds to third. A-Rod makes the play, but kind of forgets about the runner who gets to third. What's going on here?
Yeah, nice play by Alex. He goes to the backhand, but he didn't even look at J.J. Hardy, and Hardy made a great play. You know, he was heads up, kept looking at Alex the whole time, throws to first, and he gets to third base.
And it would make a difference because eventually Hardy would score a sac fly later in the inning. Alexi Casilla scores, or I should say singles to left. Orioles up 2-1. Next batter, Casilla takes off for second, a stolen base. And then Nick Markakis singles to center. Casilla scores.
All about creating runs, and you see the Orioles really pressing, forcing the issue. Chris Stewart's good quarterback, good catcher and quarterback in the infield, but Oscar Romine as well. Pretty good catchers for the Yankees, but the Orioles took advantage.
Chris Tillman, razor sharp. Remember, he came over in 08 with Adam Jones in that Eric Bedard trade. All right, 9th inning now. Closer spot has been a real problem for Baltimore. Jim Johnson on to close. Granderson, 3-2 pitch deep center. Jones puts it away, and the Orioles hang on to win it. The final 4-2. So these two teams battling it out. 2 of the teams trying to nail down one of the 2 wild card spots in the American League. Chris Tillman, 7 innings, 2 earned runs, picks up the win, improves to 16-5, and afterwards he talked about pounding the strike zone as being key to his success.
It's always a big role player in a game is command, and especially for a starting pitcher. You know, you get out of sync and you can't find it. It's going to be a grind throughout. So glad I was able to find it and kind of ride with it.
He was working on extra days rest. We wanted to give him a little extra blow there before what's going to happen the rest of the season. So I'm real proud of him. He's got a good look.
With the win on Monday, Tillman, the first O's pitcher to win 16 games in a season since Mike Masita in 1999. Since the start of last year, Tillman's 25-8, an ERA of 3.43. He has more wins this year than he did in his previous 3 seasons combined. So the Orioles get the win, and they get it head-to-head against the Yankees. This is a big victory, and maybe even a bigger loss for New York.
Yeah, it's a bigger loss for New York, no question about it, because the Orioles are chasing the Rays. They're chasing the Red Sox. But the Yankees were getting a little too close for comfort, so you got to create a little separation there. You have to win your games no matter what. At this point, whether you're playing the Yankees, whether you're playing the Royals, whoever it is, the Orioles have to win games. And I think this is such a big week on the flip side for the Yankees, having the Orioles and then having the Red Sox. They could be done after this week, Alex.
I feel like the Orioles, they haven't had that run. You know, we talk about the Red Sox the whole time. The Rays got hot for a while, but I think the Orioles are a good team. They have a bunch of number 3, number 4 for the rotation. Their bullpen is good. Defensively, they're great. And offensively, now with Mike Morse in that lineup, I think they're ready to go. I still think they're going to win the wild card.
All right, subplot in this game early on. Tempers flared. Kind of interesting. Buck Showalter getting fired up, and he was angry at Joe Girardi because Joe Girardi was chirping at third base coach Bobby Dickerson of the Baltimore Orioles. Now, what thought was going on here was that Dickerson was relaying signs. At least that's what Joe Girardi thought, and he was talking to the third base coach. Eventually, both managers yelling at one another. Buck Showalter unhappy. Here's what he had to say after the game.
He was yelling at the third base coach, and somebody's wearing black and orange. I'm not going to let that happen.
One thing that I've done the whole time I'm here and everywhere I've been is I'm going to protect our players at all lengths. That's what I'm going to do, and There was something that I saw, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
You know, we're two competitive, good teams, hopefully, and we're fighting for the same thing, so there's a small margin of error, and, you know, I look at those things at first 10 or 15 pitches every night. There's certain little checkpoints I go around the field to see if everything's in order before you get into the game. Yeah, but Bobby's not giving pitches.
All right, so Buck Showalter denied that Bobby Dickerson was giving signs. Regardless, let's get into this because you see teams get angry. Why is this a big deal? Why can't you steal signs?
I mean, you can steal signs. You know, I don't blame the Yankees for arguing this, for Girardi trying to defend his team. I mean, that's part of baseball. As now in September, you're going to start looking at the coaches, you're going to start looking at the base runners, you're going to start looking at everywhere because every game counts. I mean, stealing signs, it goes from way back when. If you don't want teams to relay signs, you have to do a better job. And in this situation, obviously, Buck is going to say, no, we're not relaying signs, but who knows? I mean, you still have to defend your team, and Girardi, I mean, I don't know if he did it the right way. I mean, you don't scream at the third base coach from our perspective, but you still have to pay attention to details, and he felt that way. He did a good job.
A couple things. These two teams play each other a lot, and you're going to study everything, and you should, and to try to get every edge you possibly can. So if they did steal signs, good for them. Be smarter on the other side, change it, make an adjustment. This game is all about adjustments. Now, where Girardi went wrong was the fact that he took it up with a coach. As a manager, you deal with a manager. A coach can talk to a coach, a player can talk to a player. A coach isn't supposed to go after an opposing player. But I think that's where you see the ire of Buck Showalter because of the fact that a manager should have come directly to him because Buck Showalter's the guy in charge, not Bobby Dickerson.
I mean, if you're worried about this, go to the mound, cross him up, and instead of, you know, call a breaking ball if they're relaying signs and throw a fastball up and in. And then,
all right. So you just saw from all of those subplots going on. Welcome to Talk Radio version of the OMSR. I am your host, Will, the alternative ESPN Sports Thrill. Video highlights courtesy to ESPN and MLB. Everything else to the OMSR. Alright, so the interesting thing about the sign stealing bit, I can understand why Girardi would be upset, or any manager for that matter, anybody on the team. It's like that scene from Major League. They're showing all the coaches go all over the place. It's somewhat supposed to be satirical in that way because it's complicated. It's like SOCOM hand signals, all mixed up. So when you go to this trouble to develop your own system and you think someone's got an inside view of it, yeah, you'd probably get a little annoyed. But if there's nothing in the rule book that says, you know, as a practical matter, there's nothing that prevents you from doing that, then it becomes a moral question. You know, fair play, gamesmanship, all that sort of thing. So it's interesting to see, you know, we've seen Baltimore off and on again. It looks like they've improved their record from before, and the Yankees as well, bringing more other teams in terms of, you know, who's got a viable chance for the pennants and all that coming up. Just to remind you, the reason we do a show, it's called the DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act. It covers fair use, standard, minimal use, and derivatives. So this being a pro bono sports show, I definitely adhere to that. Plus, you know, my being the face and the voice of this brand, as it were, the OMSR, it's sort of the secondary intent. And the highlights speak for themselves. So the highlights drive the show. I don't try to do the show to promote me, per se, for the highlights. Okay. Thanks for watching those silly DUIs while you're out there. Later days and more signature plays.